Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's your boy Brawlic Black Knight here, back at it again. Last time we ranked every single boss in Dark Souls 1 from worst to best, so naturally this time we're covering Dark Souls 2, and there's a goddamn lot more bosses to get through in this game, so we're gonna have to go ahead and rush through some of the bad, obsolete ones real quick. But today we will be ranking every single boss in Dark Souls 2, so if you like this type of content, please make sure to subscribe. I'd love that. Click the subscribe button, and let's not waste any time and get right into the ranking.
Psycho bitch, let's go. I just climbed up on a mountain and I check my wrist is snow. See a spider dripping, violet bitch just saw me and she froze. Yeah, bitch just saw me and she froze.
Alright, so let's begin. I should probably mention right before we start that this is just my opinion on how much I like them. This is not difficulty, this is not quality, this is just how much do I like them. And these ones here at the bottom, I do not like very much. So let me rush through all. There's Dark Souls 2, it's way too many bosses. I'm gonna rush through some bad ones real quick. So coming up in dead last place is the Royal Rat Authority. This boss boils down to don't get poisoned at the beginning of it, and if you do, you're cooked. I've never been so angry at a boss in my life. Even some of the hardest bosses in the series could do nothing to Royal Rat Authority anger levels. Terrible boss, disgusting. And next up we have the Ancient Dragon. This boss is actually a joke. It has infinite HP, one taps you, flies up and shoots down fire a million times in a row. Most infuriating boss I've ever seen, just next to the Authority. And yeah, comes in second from the bottom, atrocity boss. After that we have the Bell-free Gargoyles. So in Dark Souls 1 there was the nice Bell Gargoyles. I ranked them pretty good, around the middle of a pack, a little bit above, and the Bell Gargoyles were okay. The Bell-free Gargoyles, not so much. They just decided, ooh, the gank in Dark Souls 1 with 2 of them was good, let's throw like 8. And yeah, no, it turns out, yeah, more does not equals better. Dark Souls 2 is a lot of throw more at you. This boss fight is an atrocity. Please spare yourself from playing it. Next up on the list, we have Guardian Dragon, and if you're making me hate dragon fights, you're probably doing something wrong. In fact, this boss is so forgettable that I accidentally called it Ancient Dragon twice and had to re-record it. It's just the most forgettable boss in the world. So annoying, so like just kill it and move on. Terrible boss. Let's keep it going. Next up on the list we have the Gang Squad. I actually forgot what the real name is, so they're being called the Gang Squad. The 3 dudes that pull up you, there's like a Havel and some 2 other dudes. This is like I don't even know if they were trying with this one, but it's just annoying. You manipulate the AI. It's super cringe. Again, terrible boss. Let's just forget this one ever existed. Next on the list, we have the Executioner's Chariot. This boss isn't really a boss. You run in a circle and pull a lever, and then it crashes out, and then after that, you just beat up a horse for a little bit. It's not the most exhilarating. One of those, Dark Souls 2 is a lot of just like health bars that like, they're just kind of basic enemies that you hit a bunch. This is one of them. There's pretty much no challenge at all. Just slap it a couple times, and you're good. Next up, we have the Royal Rat Vanguard. Definitely better than the Rat Authority, but at the same time, this is just Exterminator, the mini game. It's really not a boss at all. Again, it's just a bunch of small little enemies that you one-shot and then forget it ever existed. Rat fights in this game, really not its strong suit. Next up on the list after that, we have Prowling Magus and Congregation. I believe that's how you say it. But you know, if there's a boss that's just like pretty much AFK standing there and it's still higher than like 6 other bosses, then yeah, the lower end of Dark Souls 2 is a real struggle. But Prowling Magus, yeah, it's a couple guys AFK in a room with a health bar. Like, not really too much to say about it. That's why we're kind of rushing through these ones. Next up is the Twin Dragon Riders, the classic but what if there were 2, and the answer is nothing really changes. It's still just 2 guys that get killed in like 6 hits and then call it a day. And then fittingly after the Twin Dragon Riders, we just have Dragon Rider, who you can make fall off his own arena in about 3 seconds if you want to, but even if you fight him normally, there's like absolutely no chance you lose. You just hit him like 3 times and he explodes. Again, very, very nothing burger boss. After that, we have the first boss you'll probably fight in the game, the Last Giant. And well, when the tutorial boss is gapping this much, again, it's not looking good. But the Last Giant, I mean, compared to the likes of like Gundyr and even Asylum Demon, we're not really putting up big numbers here. He has a cool phase 2 where like he pulls off his own limb and starts swinging, but other than that, you just nip at his ankles for a bit and he'll eventually die. Nothing to write home about, but I guess not the worst in the world. Next up on the list, we have Lud and Zolin. again, if the run-up counted for more, this boss would be at the bottom of the list, because we're gonna not talk about, I even forgot what this snow area was called, the Horse Reindeer Land? No thank you. But Ludenszalen, I mean, but what if there were 2 Avas? And spoiler alert, Ava's not bad, but 2 of them, so unnecessary, so out of the way to even fight them, and it's just like, this boss is so bad, bro. It's like, why is there 2? Why does there need to be 2? And it's like, it's not that it gets that much harder, it's just 2, and then you have to run back to them if you die. It's terrible, it's terrible. Bad boss, bad puppies. Or kitties, I guess. Whoopsie. Next up on the list, we have Covetous Demon, my boy. Again, if there's a boss, like how many bosses just stand AFK and let you kill them in this game? The answer is a lot, but Covetous Demon at least has a cool mechanic where he can eat you and then it unequips all your armor, but you're never gonna get hit by it because he moves slower than me when I wake up in the morning, and that's to say I just go back to bed. Like, it's not looking good. I can't think of anything. They're just health bars that you hit a couple times. It's nothing to write home about, so let's just keep on going. Next up on the list, we have King Vendrick, who I'm actually really sad to put down here, because Vendrick's lore, cool. When you go back and see him and he's still like in a human form in the memory, that's cool. The boss fight sucks balls. It's so bad. First of all, you need like giant souls to even hurt him, otherwise this fight will take 30 years, and one of those giant souls, if you really want to do the max damage, is acquired from Ancient Dragon, so I mean, have fun with that. But even if you don't go into Vendrick with all the giant souls, like, it's just a guy, and like Vendrick does damage, so it's a guy that one-shots you if you mess up, but other than that, it's just like basic sword swings, and then he has a bunch of health. It's like if you gave Sif from Dark Souls 1 like 30,000 HP and made all of his sword slashes one-shot. That's kind of Vendrick, and yeah, it's about as sleeper as you'd expect. Nothing to write home about, wish it was better, points for the lore, but can't really rate Vendrick any higher than this, sadly. Next up on the list, we have Demon of Song. This is just another one of those classic health bars that don't really try to hurt you, although Demon of Song tries a little bit. This is after the Shrine of Amana, so you know, that's taking off points right there, but I mean, he has a cool mechanic where he like hides his face and then opens it, and then you have to hit him while it's open, but like, he doesn't really hurt you while it's closed that much, so it's like, I don't know, it's cooler than the ones below it, but again, it's not really going to give you any trouble, and after the Shrine of Amana, thank God it doesn't give you any trouble, but again, it looks cool, it looks unique, but gameplay wise, we're still not at anything that's remotely interesting. Coming up next, we have the Rodden, and for one of like the main bosses to be this bad is kind of unfortunate. What I really like doing with the Rodden, and what gives him a bit of points, is popping Bonfire Aesthetic in his area and then farming him for souls because he's so easy. Really, really good to do and gets you a lot of early levels in Dark Souls 2, but as an actual fight, yeah, there's like some fiery pits that hurt you and it's kind of annoying, but you're never really like, I mean, even if you do get hit by him, it doesn't really matter because he's so slow, recovery is so free. It's another one of those bosses that you just kind of hit while he tries to flail at you, and if you have fire damage, I mean, it's enough said. It's kind of wraps, you know what I'm saying? So it is unfortunate that one of like the main game bosses is this low, but hey, what are you gonna do? Rodden comes in still at the lower end of the list. Next up on the list, another disappointing boss, we have Aldia, Scholar of the First Sin. Aldia, bro, it could have been so cool. I love when they do like this secret final boss thing. Like this game I played, Fury did it, and it was really cool. But Aldia, like, I mean, it's not like, if you're following the game, you're probably not gonna miss it anyway. But if you do and you figure out it exists and you go back, like, it's not even worth it. Like, he's just, again, a big hitbox that stands there and flails at you while you beat him up. And coming after Nashandra, which was so much better, and like, it's just an embarrassment, bro. I wish Aldia was cool, but he's just kind of yaps all game, and then like you spam R1 a bit and he dies. It's unfortunate that the secret final boss, the Scholar of the First Sin, has to be this low, but alas, Dark Souls 2, baby. Coming up next on the list, we're starting to get into the okay category. They're like not bad bosses, they're just not very challenging, and the start of that is Giant Lord. So Giant Lord is the last Giant's redemption arc. This is him in the past in his prime, but unfortunately giving him a sword instead of his broken arm isn't much better, and you still just kind of wipe him. The area is a little cooler but kind of annoying. He's a little stronger, so it's a bit more engaging, but at the same time, nothing too special, unfortunately. It's cooler, it's not terrible, but not amazing. Next up on the list, we have Flexile Sentry. Now this is the first boss I can actually say some really cool things about. This boss has a mechanic where the water in the arena slowly fills up and it makes it harder to move, so if you don't play aggressive, eventually this fight's going to become borderline unwinnable, which is cool because it forces you to play aggressive, and the boss has 2 different movesets depending on which side of the boss you're on, which kind of reminds me of the Archbishop from Eliza P, which was a good mechanic to take from DS2 because the Flexile Sentry mechanic is really cool. Unfortunately, none of this matters because you're probably going to kill the boss in like 30 seconds, but when it does come into play, or if it's a newer player, it is pretty cool, and the boss, it has some flair and it's on a nice little pirate ship. Not too bad, not amazing. Next up on the list, we have the Old Dragon Slayer, Ornstein Round 2, and okay, here's the problem. So it makes us fight just Ornstein, right? But we, in the last game, just finished fighting Ornstein with another huge dude backing him up, then which one of them goes Super Saiyan if the other one dies. So taking that all away and making it just Ornstein, like how do you expect that to like be a challenge to any of your, I guess it was just a cool reference, and it was, but like it's kind of doing my boy dirty, you know what I mean? Like again, just the guy you'll probably kill in 2 hits, and you're probably so much over prepared for this fight, it's not even funny. Next up on the list, we have, hey guys, editing night here. So this was the part where I was supposed to talk about skeleton lords, but I completely forgot they existed. TLDR, not a bad fight, kind of just the swarm, but being the skeleton exterminator is kind of fun. Also, now that I'm looking at it, I should maybe have moved Lud and Zolin down a bit. I don't know how they snuck up so high. Probably put those guys like below Vanguard, to be honest. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of them, but yeah, skeleton lords would go here. My bad, forgot about that. Now continuing with the Rune Sentinels, and we're starting to get to the okay fights, which is kind of nice. Rune Sentinels is a classic Dark Souls trickery. You'll start off with one on your platform and you'll be scared, and then you'll drop down, and then they'll all 3 gank you at the same time, and it's really cool learning experience. But once you know the trick, even if you don't, it's really not that bad. It's kind of the classic Dark Souls 2, just shove a bunch of enemies in your face, but you just have to manage the gank, and eventually it's really not too bad to deal with. But they look cool. It's a bit more unique than some of the other bosses we've been through so far, and it's a boss that you can't really just mash through like some of the other ones, so Rune Sentinels, not too bad, gets a couple of points from me. And now we get into the bosses that I think are solid. We're not quite at the big dogs, but now we're at a part where we're at like the A tier, the bosses that are good and enjoyable fights. And to start that off, we have none other than the Duke's dear Freya. Now, Freya has a cool mechanic where you can also attack a face on her back. If you run around her, she has another face where her butt should be. There's a bunch of ads in this fight. There's some spiders, but overall, Freya's just a solid, like, I want to say pinnacle boss, like one of the main objectives. She has a cool laser that's fun to dodge. She has some spiders that you kind of have to manage in the arena. She has a cool mechanic where I said with the 2 faces, where sometimes one takes less damage than the other. And Freya's just overall pretty cool. Nothing insane, sure, but I mean, overall solid fight, and is just right above the middle of the pack. So yeah, good on Freya, bro. Not too bad. Next up on the list, we have Mytha, and Mytha is basic, but basic done well. At most, she's just kind of a snaky lady that swings at you and isn't very oppressive, but the arena has a mechanic where if you don't light a windmill up earlier, there's actually filled with poison in the arena. And if you don't know about this, this actually makes this fight kind of insane, and not like impossible by any means, but it makes it a hell of a lot harder. And if you do know about it, then it's just cool that you kind of get to use your knowledge, or you're rewarded for your exploration, and the fight is then that much easier. And then other than that, the fight's just decent. Again, nothing insane, but just a fun little engaging fight. Doesn't last too long. She is kind of like too small of a health bar. I wish she had a bit more health. But other than that, you know, Mytha, again, just not too bad at all. Coming up after that, we have Nachka, and Nachka is fine. She is like the next incarnation of the Quelaag boss fight. These kind of develop throughout the series, and Nachka, I think, is probably worse than Quelaag, but still not bad at all. It's like relatively the same fight, but she's on a scorpion instead of a spider, and I mean, she swings at you. I mean, like, none of her moves are like crazy. She doesn't have any insane mechanics, but I mean, it's just like a pretty cool fight. The arena's not bad. It's kind of different from the rest of the arenas you fight in, and I mean, she's just a pretty simple boss. But again, like Mytha, I think Notchka is simple done well. Again, not as good as the boss that she's based off of, but definitely better than a lot of the bosses in Dark Souls 2. So Notchka solidly a little bit above the middle of the pack. Next up, we have another one of the like goalpost bosses for the game, the Lost Sinner. And Sinner has a couple of cool things, but also a couple of negatives. First off, if you don't light up the arena, you actually fight the Sinner in a very, very dark arena, and it does kind of mess with your lock-on sometimes. So your lock-on won't be, it'll turn off because the arena's not lit up enough, which is really cool. And it is a bit more challenging to fight the Sinner in complete darkness, but assuming you light up the arena, this fight is pretty cool. It's like anytime there's an enemy around your size with a sword, it's normally a pretty good fight, and the Sinner is no exception. It's just a nice dodge fest, pretty good. Learn the timings, get it down. The only thing that I take points away from the Sinner for is two things, really. It's that the fight is kind of basic. It's just a couple sword slashes, nothing insane, no Artorias flips or anything, and the hitboxes on some of these moves are, let's just say, questionable at best, bro. But I mean, other than that, the Sinner is pretty solid all around. So again, not too bad. A perfectly fine boss, comes in above the middle of the pack. Next up on the list, we have Ava, and Ava, unlike the duo Ava of Ladinzalen, is fine. Ava has some cool things going for her as well. First, you need an item to even see her. If you pull up in the arena early, she is completely invisible, and it is kind of terrifying and pretty hard if you try to fight her like that, to be honest. An invisible boss isn't easy, go figure, but assuming you can actually see Ava, it's pretty cool. It's like Sif without the sword, and it's just more of like a tiger. She's got some pounce attacks, some swipey swipes. Again, this is like the part where there's nothing really insane or revolutionary, but it's just a solid, fun fight. Ava has some good timings, beautiful arena, beautiful boss, honestly. The nice ice theme, very, very nice. Ava, again, super, super solid boss, no real problems with it. Coming up after Ava, we have Alana, and Alana is super interesting, and I'm really not sure how to feel it. This is a weird boss. So Alana's main kind of gimmick that she's known for is she can summon a bunch of things, kind of like Rolana from, what's her name? Reluna, the magic girl from Elden Ring, the first one, I forgot her name. She can summon stuff, and one of them is a boss we're going to talk about in a little bit. So the fact that she can just summon one of the harder bosses in the game to help her is kind of scary, but also that she can just summon like Skelly, some mages, some basic stuff, and it's a pretty interesting fight, and I think it's really cool because it's different every time you do it, and that's super, super nice, and it keeps the experience fresh. So Alana, it is kind of weird, and I mean, chasing her down can be a little obnoxious sometimes, but overall, it's a interesting fight. It's very different, and it is overall fun, so comes in getting closer to the top of the list, but not quite there yet. And coming up next on the list, we have Sin the Slumbering Dragon, and well, I mean, I love dragons, but to be fair, compared to what the community thinks of this boss, I think Sin is pretty overrated. A lot of people say it's like way better than Calamite, and it was the best dragon boss until Meteor. I personally think Sin's probably better than Meteor. I'm a Meteor hater, but Sin is nothing crazy. He still has the annoying fly away and breathe fire moves. He has some crazy poison mechanics that are cool, but you know, still kind of annoying because it's poison. But I mean, the fact that he has like sometimes you can just get into a cycle where Sin will just never land, and it is infuriating. The worst thing about a boss fight is when you can't dodge and hit. You just have to dodge, or he's like spamming AoEs, and sometimes Sin can really just stay out of your range. But to be fair, when Sin is cooperating, this fight is actually pretty fun. It's kind of like Calamite when he's cooperating, and I really, really like Calamite. So yeah, Sin is not bad, but there's some times where he can be a little gimmicky, but overall, compared to some of the other bosses we've talked about in Dark Souls 2, Sin is leagues above them and has a pretty decent spot on the list. Coming up next on the list, we have the Iron King himself, and I think this boss is a little hated on, but I kind of get it at the same time. The Iron King isn't very challenging. He throws his arm forward. It's almost like a ceaseless discharge fight, to be honest. But that being said, he is one of the pinnacle bosses, or like the goal bosses that you're trying to get to. He has some pretty cool lore. I mean, he's guarding the Primal Bonfire after all. The Iron Keep lore in general is really nice. And I mean, it's not a hard fight, and getting knocked into his hole is fucking annoying. But I mean, other than that, it's I don't know. I think I just really like the aesthetic of big demon boy walking out of the lava like a big Tonka T. But I think it's fun. I don't know. You dodge him, he looks like a bozo, but sometimes if he punches you, it has impact. I feel like this fight could be so good. It's just missing that little bit of flair, that little bit of difficulty. If they gave Iron King waterfowl dance, I think we'd be set. But I mean, jokes aside, Iron King pretty solid. I think I like him a bit more than most people. I think thematically he is amazing, and he comes in at a pretty respectable place on the list. And coming up next, we have Nashandra. And Nashandra, well, one of my least favorite final bosses of the series, or all of like the FromSoft games. In Dark Souls 2 specifically, she's still a pretty cool boss, bro. I mean, the big scythe, the aura, she was baiting the whole time. You kind of get to see her identity get revealed throughout the game. And I mean, Nashandra, it's way better than Aldia, that's for sure. Nashandra is a fun fight. There's a chance that like the balls can give you like the status effect. I think it's cursed. I forgot what it was exactly. Forgive me. But I mean, Nashandra's just fun, bro. She's got some interesting moves to dodge, interesting patterns, and a pretty overall solid boss. And I mean, again, way better than Aldia. I don't have much to say about her since I feel like this fight is kind of over pretty fast, since you either play it super safe or you rush her down. I normally go for the rush her down strategy. But I mean, lore, she gets points. Aura, she gets points. And I mean, mechanically, Nashandra is pretty fun and pretty solid, and I think gets a pretty good spot close to the big boys on the list. And coming up next, we have Veldstat. So Alana can summon Veldstat. This was the other boss she can summon. And I mean, Veldstat is pretty good, and again, pretty simple. You fight him in like this, I forgot the name of the area, but I haven't played Dark Souls 2 in so long. Like the like the catacombs, like under the ground. And I mean, thematically, it's cool. He's guarding his boy Vendrick's tomb for him. He has the crazy lore with Luvnight that is just really nice to read. And I mean, overall, he looks cool, big dude, golden armor. He comes in to bonk you. It's not the easiest boss. It's not the hardest boss. And overall, Veldstat, it's probably just like the baseline, like the standard golden line for this is a decent, enjoyable boss fight. And I think for that, I give Veldstat his respects. It's always a fun time going against him. And I think he comes out just under like the actual really insanely good bosses of Dark Souls 2. And speaking of the really good bosses in Dark Souls 2, we started off with the Throne Watcher and Throne Defender. I think now we're getting into what I consider like the bosses that really make Dark Souls 2 worth playing. And starting that off, we have the Throne Duo. And like right off the bat, sure, they're not ONS, right? Like ONS, I think it's gonna be a better fight, but the Throne Duo, I think, is a bit underrated. They're not absolutely, they're not like a top tier fight in the series, but they're really fun. I enjoy them. The fight doesn't last super long because I think they could use a little bit more health, but I mean, overall, pretty fun and fair gank fight, which is rare. And again, I always like to applaud the gank fights that I think feel balanced. And I mean, well, they don't really give you like the pillars like ONS. The AI isn't really too difficult, and their health pool is quite low, so I think it kind of works out. I think there could be some environment to help you, but other than that, I'm perfectly fine with the Throne Duo. I think they're pretty fun. I think it's cool that like the end of the game is kind of a boss rush with like them, Nashandra, and then Aldia. But other than that, yeah, I mean, not too much to say on them, but I don't think they're an absolute pinnacle series fight. But I mean, Throne Duo, bro, not too bad, not too bad. Now, coming in after the Throne Duo, we have the Looking Glass Knight, one of the most cinematic fights in the series, I'd say. This fight is really just awesome, bro. Fighting a reflective silver knight in the middle of a rainstorm. He can summon other players. He has a decent moveset. It's like the nice one-on-one knight fight. Overall, this fight is honestly amazing. The only slight, obviously, is the summoning another player mechanic can be hit or miss. 99% of the time nowadays, obviously he's going to summon an NPC anyway, but if he summons PvP Master 59, like, yeah, sure, sometimes it can be a little rough. But I mean, overall, half the time he doesn't get a chance to use the move anyway. You can kill him before that, but like, Looking Glass Knight is just cool, bro. Like, look at this. Like, the arena, most of his moveset is pretty balanced, and it's just a nice, good fight, bro. I love the Looking Glass Knight, one of my favorite fights in this entire game, and comes in just outside the really tippity top of the list. And funnily enough, that this one might be a bit of a hot take, but coming in just outside the top 5, we have Smelter Demon. And yes, I'm going to include orange and blue in the same spot. I know a lot of people don't do this, but I really, I don't understand why. A lot of people say blue is 10 times worse, and they messed up his timings, and bro, it's just the same fight with different timings. It's you rating these as different bosses is questionable, IMO, and they have some slight different mechanics and affinities, but other than that, it's borderline the same moveset, almost exactly the same moveset. But thankfully, that moveset is so fun, bro. I absolutely love the Smelter Demon fights, bro. Obviously, a blue Smelter Demon gets a lot of hate, but IMO, it's because the run-up the blue Smelter Demon is one of the worst things your eyes could witness. But the actual fights, bro, the Smelter Demon fights are fucking awesome, bro. They have a really cool mechanic where being close to it, his infernal heart fire burns you, so it drains health when you're close to them, which is cool because it kind of forces you to be aggressive and get in there and finish the fight quickly before your health kind of burns away. It's kind of like how Mytha does the same thing, or boss fights that force you to be poisoned for it. It's the same kind of oh, you gotta kill them before your health bar just kind of expires, which is a mechanic I really like because, I'm an M1 masher and being forced to be aggressive is kind of nice. And also with the Smelter Demons, they just, first of all, they look cool. That's just a sick enemy that I want to battle. And their moveset is pretty good and one of the most balanced, at least for Dark Souls 2 standards. They got some slashes. Sometimes they put a little bit of delay on it. They have a nice move where he puts a sword in the floor and it looks like he's AFK, but he hits that with the big AoE, boom, and it's oh, okay, it got me. I really love the Smelter Demon fight, and I think this is really, really one of the best Dark Souls 2 has to offer. And a lot of people, again, everyone hates on blue, but I think they're both amazing fights, and Smelter Demon comes in just outside the top 5. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have the one, the only, the Pursuer. Now, it is so rare for an early game boss to be this high up on the list, but in this case, I'm really glad that he is. The Pursuer's main thing, and the thing that makes him really cool, is the whole thing that he pursues you throughout the game at a bunch of random points. You just walk up, climb a ladder, go into an area, and then boom, the Pursuer's on you, and you just have to fight him off, and there's normally pretty good rewards for fighting him off, and it's just really cool because it really feels like he's a stalker enemy, from Resident Evil or Dead Space or something. Is a guy that's always watching you, and then you finally get to the boss fight, and if provided you don't one-shot him with the ballista, it's pretty fun. He has a nice swingy sword moveset. He has the big cool blue impaling slash, and it's just overall a fight that you don't really see that much detail and finesse in the early game. You normally see the big bulky monsters, the crazy demons, but you never just see the full armor knight fight that fast right off the bat. And a really good change of pace, really cool fight, and everything about it, atmosphere is just beautiful. Again, of course, you can one-shot cheese him with the ballista, but a lot of people don't even know that, and it's cool if you figure it out your first time. Love the Pursuer, absolutely amazing fight, always fun to have him around, and he comes in at the number 5 spot for this list. Now, coming in at number 4 on the list, we have a very beloved fight, and that would be Sir Alon. Ooh, this fight is so cool. The run-up to this fight is a monstrous atrocity, but the actual fight is so clean. This is the one fight that just completely somehow ignores Dark Souls 2 mechanics. It just feels so smooth, so elegant. It feels like you're playing a fight from Dark Souls 3 or Elden Ring, but I don't know how. It just ignores all of the kind of semi-clunkiness Dark Souls 2 has, and it's such a smooth, nice one-on-one duel. There's so much to love about this fight, but most importantly, Alon is just a fast guy, bro. He'll dash at you, he'll switch up his timings, he'll keep you on your toes, and if you happen to beat him without taking damage, he gets a unique death animation, which is just such a cool test of ability. I absolutely love this fight. The arena is beautiful. The lore also gets him some pretty good bonus points in this fight, and who doesn't like this one? It's fun, it's challenging, the run-up does suck, but other than that, I have no complaints about Sir Alon, bro. The only reason he's not higher than number 4 is because the other 3 fights just have a more grandiose type of thing. I just have a better connection to them, but I can't really complain about Alon. Alon is an absolutely amazing fight, and he comes in at number 4. Breaking into the top 3, we have the one, the only Ivory King. Now, Ivory King is getting to the territory of IMO, like top 20 to top 25 bosses in the whole series. I really enjoy this fight. So first and foremost, before you even get to the fight, you get the coolest entrance to a boss arena up until this point. I think maybe Elden or Dark Souls 3 have a few that's cooler, but I mean, even like the demons in Dark Souls 3 and like Medir, it's ripping off Ivory King. So like, I don't know, bro. The old chaos is quite literally and figuratively fire, bro. My only downside to the fight is, well, the Luvnight mechanic is cool the first time. I'm not a fan of having to go gather all the boys and like, you know, like I'm not a fan of having other guys in my 1v1 boss fight, to be honest. It is super cool and super thematic the first time, you know, charging in with the boys to battle and you being rewarded for finding them in the first place. But I do prefer my fights to be the one-on-one guy versus guy, blade versus blade. So that is my only small slight on the battle. But I mean, like, come on, bro. Ivory King this is a final boss, by the way. All of you should be taking notes. If you've seen, there's plenty of all boss runs that end in this guy that are quite close and nail biting. His phase 2 where he pulls out the laser sword is so cool. It's a smooth fight. It feels like exempt from some of the rules of Dark Souls 2. Like some hitboxes may be a little weird, but like that's like a nitpick at most, bro. This fight is so cool and just barely misses out on the 2 above it. The only reason it's not higher is because A, I don't like having other people in my boss arena, and B, the 2 above it are really just that good. But I mean, nothing but the utmost respect. One of the most underrated, one of the most underplayed boss fights in the entire series, and that is the Ivory King taking his crown at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have, in my opinion, the single-handed most underrated boss in the entire series, Dark Lurker. This boss is just beautiful. And I mean, right off the bat, I'll say it, there is only one single thing bad about this fight, and it has nothing to do with the actual battle itself. It's getting to this boss. When people tell me that they haven't played Dark Lurker, I'm so disappointed, but I can't even blame them because of how much of a pain it is to get to this boss. For those of you who don't know, yeah, there's 3 different locations that are super hidden in the world that you have to find, join this dude's covenant, go explore his little mini dungeon, finish it, and then in the final mini dungeon, once you finish it, you drop down into the boss of Dark Lurkers, or you drop down into the boss arena for Dark Lurker. It is quite literally an entire ass side quest just to fight this guy, and it's like kind of hard to find where you're supposed to go if you're not using a guide. So again, I cannot blame people for missing this, but the people that did, my gee golly, you are missing out on one of the best fights I've ever played. Dark Lurker is like Caster Pontiff, which sounds super criminally bad, but oh my god, this fight is so cool. So he pulls up on you and he has like this energy sword hand and it seems kind of simple. He throws some magic spells. He does some respectable damage, but he's not really moving very crazy. And then his health bar gets a little bit too low and boom, he pulls out the shadow clone, and all of a sudden this is one of the most lock in or die boss fights in the entire series. And I mean, you're just fighting a white reaper that can clone himself in like the shadow realm. Like, bro, what is this? This fight is like so out of the way, but so well done. And I see so little praise for this fight. I cannot, like, if you haven't tried a Dark Lurker battle, bro, please, if you ever replay Dark Souls 2 again, bro, put in the work to fight this guy. I promise you, this is one of the coolest, most just wonderful experiences in this Soul series. It looks kind of simple now after we have stuff like Malekith and whatnot, but like, bro, if it wasn't for number 1 being just as beautiful as it is, Dark Lurker, man, one of easily my favorite bosses in the whole series, and he comes in at number 2. And coming in at number 1, do I even have to say it for anyone who's played DS2? It is the one, the only Fume Knight. This fight is IMO pretty much perfect. This is exactly what I want in a boss, and I'm sad there isn't more of this. Fume Knight starts off as just a sword in the middle of the arena, and then you get close and boom, he spawns. He has a long sword in one hand and the biggest freaking great sword ever seen in the other. And I mean, you know, he's swinging them around, you're dodging, you're weaving, you're hitting him, you're having a nice little duel, and then all of a sudden he lights his huge great sword on fire and starts spinning around, and then he starts healing randomly, and oh my god, this fight is so cool, so intense. So Fume Knight has a mechanic with these things called smelter wedges, and pretty much you have to find a couple items in the area prior and extinguish these little fires around the arena. Otherwise, he will have a sizable heal and regen when his health starts getting low during the battle. Now, even with a couple of these extinguished, the fight is perfectly manageable. With all of them still available and healing him, it is significantly harder, but with or without his healing, this fight is just awesome, man. It's one of those Artorias Gale type fights that just locks you in the one-on-one with the fair but challenging knight, and that is exactly what I want. Those are my favorite kind of fights, and I mean, he has a bunch of lore with Veldstat that I really enjoy. The arena and his boss entrance is just super cool, and I mean, the fight itself is awesome. You feel like a ninja dodging his big fire sword and his crazy AoEs. He looks cool, you look cool dodging him, and I mean, overall, the most fun I've had with a boss in Dark Souls 2 goes to my absolute number one for this game, the Fume Knight. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all for me. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please make sure to Fume Knight slam the subscribe button and leave a like for your boy. That would be very appreciated. Of course, there will be a Dark Souls 3 and onwards boss ranking at some point in the future, but that is all for me for today. If you like this content, please make sure to check out some more, and with that being said, that is all. So I hope you all have a good day, and of course, have a good night.